family. Welcome to another edition of Success in Business Podcast. My name is Goodwille, Pierre, and I'm especially excited today because we are coming to you live from Missouri City, Texas, because I have the Mayor Robin Elackatt here to kind of talk to us about business. How you doing, Mayor?
I am doing great. Thank you for having us.
Okay.
Thank you for being here today. This is a very important program, and I know that this is our year 5.
Yeah.
We're excited.
Well, we're going to focus on you because of all the years that I've known you, you're a leader, community leader, you're a business person, a family person, and you still have time to touch the people. You have not lost your common touch. How do you do it all?
I'm trying to be Michael Jordan. In reality, no, it's the community. Missouri City has a great diversity.
Mm-hmm.
And, with that diversity, there comes our strength, right? So we have people from all walks of life that's here in Missouri City. And I think we set an example of that through our partnership with you guys, through our economic development, through our public works enhancement, and everything that we do, we put people at the center of the city. And I think that's why this is going the way that it's going.
As a business person, how do you navigate the realness of business? They say life be lifing. How do you handle the whole idea about business? Because this is about business. And so the exciting thing about you is you're a business person. How do you handle that being a business person? What got you started? What type of things did you do to get started in business?
So, you're right. I've been actually in healthcare all my life. Which is customer service and going back into, but it is also, we know that it is a business.
Yes.
So it is a several $1 million business.
Right.
So, and then now today I'm a private entrepreneur and doing my own business. So the central point of it is really the customers and the customer care. But with that being said, I've also understand that in order for a city like ours, in order for us to grow, as you know, that we get two forms of payment, which is your home, your property taxes,
right,
and then your sales tax.
Right.
So in order to lower down property taxes, we got to increase our businesses.
Right.
And that's the only way we can do it. So for me, as a business person, when I come into the city, I'm also looking at and thinking about our businesses that are here. We have businesses that are individually owned.
Mm-hmm.
We have businesses that corporate level.
Mm-hmm.
So when I think about businesses, how can I get people who wants to do business that is not a corporate, a giant, if you will, like Amazon and others?
Mm-hmm.
What opportunities do they get? How can we make sure as a city, what are avenues that we can guide them with?
Right.
And give them those tools to do it. Because a lot of times people know what they want to open,
mm-hmm.
but they just don't know how to go about getting it done.
Right.
So those are the things that I think we look at from an economic development standpoint of view. And I think through your partnership now, it gives a big opportunity for people who know in their heart they want to do this, whether it's a restaurant or whether it's any type ice cream shop or you name it, whatever it is, that they want to do. They just know that they want to do it, but they just don't know how to get it done. And they don't know what type of resources that the city may have or can provide to get it done. And I think that's where this partnership comes into play.
Right.
And I think this is where the educational opportunities for, and I'm looking forward to this, year 5, and with what we're trying to do is to bring in those people to say that, let's sit down, let's talk. And we are bringing all key individual
mm-hmm.
to the table, whether it's, procurement manager that we have here or what have you. So we have some successful businesses that were in the city that can probably allude to how they got it done, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all of these workshops, I think, helps these residents. And it could be Missouri City residents. It could be nearby city residents.
Right.
Because we don't just look at Missouri City residents only. We look at everybody because it's a grand success for people that if they are all working together.
You know what? Before we got on the air, we were sitting there looking at the camera, and you told me, I wasn't a politician. That's right. But Mayor, you're a public servant. That's what makes you such a good mayor. What makes you focus on business. I wanted to ask you a question as far as the optimistic forecasts for Missouri City, Texas. One of the things that makes this year unique from usually what I do for the city is we're concerned not only people want to do business with the city, but as you stated, those entities inside of Missouri City and building their capacity. You kind of mentioned this last week at the State of the City, but I want to mention it again from some of the family members. What is your optimistic goals for Missouri City, Texas?
So when I think about in a business structure, my goal is to see the corridor grow. The entire corridor, not just Highway 6 side or Fort Bentall Road side, but we have Cartwright, we have Murphy Road, we have Texas Parkway, and these are all huge arteries, if you will, to the city. And it takes every area to grow into that. So we started in the city, we have facade programs for areas. We have patio programs now that we're doing. We have a small business committee that is formed with our mayor pro tem now, Lynn Clauser. They're working towards, we have an excellent economic development director and that team that's here. So it's a combination of efforts to see what we can do. There's a lot of youngsters that are in Missouri City. There's new entrepreneurs.
Yep.
Right? There are new entrepreneurs that are looking to move into cities, suburban cities such as here, because our accessibility to Houston is, we're probably the closest, right?
Right,
when you think about that. But when you live in Missouri City, you still get the feeling of, a small town mentality.
Right.
But we are providing services that are just like Houston, right?
Right.
So that's the attraction, I think, what we're trying to do. And we're trying to bring in youngsters. There's a lot of new youngsters that wants to come in and do it. When you and I growing up, our objective from our parents was get an education. You're going to work for somebody till get a job, and you're going to work for somebody till you die.
Right.
So that concept has changed. This is 2024. That entire concept is gone. With youngsters right now, they're coming in, they're looking at Google, they're looking at Amazon, they're looking at all these areas and saying all of these entrepreneurs came up with an idea and they strike it gold. So a lot of the youngsters wants to do their own business. So my goal as a Missouri City, if I could lay it out, come 2030, we would have so many more youngsters living in the city that have so many newer ideas and newer businesses that we can have them bring it here and grow our city to be a sort of not a metropolitan city, but a city that people that can work here, but that those that work here can live here.
Right.
I think that's the goal.
Man, you kind of strike me, your sincerity and realness strikes me as someone who, you didn't get here yesterday. It took time to get to where you are. A lot of people look at successful business owners, successful public servants, and they think they got here just like that. What do you say? You talked about youngsters. What about those young entrepreneurs or the people who want to be entrepreneurs and they're kind of struggling, or they go through the first couple of years and it's not where they thought there was? It's not. What type of advice do you have for them, especially those who may be other places and they're looking to find a nice place to open up their brick and mortar business or even their home-based business, and I got the eyes of Missouri City? What type of advice can you give them as a business owner?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, in any business that you think about, number one thing is you're afraid.
Yeah.
Especially when you're young, you really don't want to try something. And then you have, like my sets of parents will always, every time I throw in an idea, they'll be the first one to say, no, don't do that. But today I'm looking at my own kids. My daughter turns 20 years old today, October 3rd.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And I'm looking at her ideas and listening to her. She wants a sky and the moon and the Mars right now. And I said, go get it, because let's go. So I think our generation as parents, they were afraid for us to try things. I think the newer generation is looking for these youngsters to go ahead and try. So we have to empower them, and we have to allow them to do things that are unthinkable, and that's how you get entrepreneurs to be born. Because when you're restricting them, and why do we restrict them? Because we don't want them to make a mistake. We don't want them to say, well, it's too much money that you invested and you've gone wrong. But today's world, you got to allow them to make the mistakes and learn from those mistakes, and then continue to grow. Because in business, not everybody is successful in business.
Right.
There are businesses that come, even in our own city, that opens up and try to survive for about 2-3 years, and after that they close their doors, right? So you have several people that have those incidences, but then you have people that come in and that become success. My job today as a mayor, when those people are coming to try something new here in our city, is to invite them, is to say, you're at the right place, come on in. We have resources through you and through other programs, and saying, we're here to help you. Build that confidence, right? Build that confidence for those. And even with all of that, if you fail, I want to be there to say, it's okay. Let's try it again. Let's do it another way. Learn from your mistakes and move forward. I think that's the key element, in my opinion. I think that's missing today from leaders, right? And I say leaders, not just elected officials, but community organizers,
Yes.
community leaders, is willing to take that new generation. Because you got to understand, if I were to raise my kids, or if I were to look at other kids who want to come up, and the way my parents did, worked with me, that won't be their idea, because they're going to say, well, why can't I do it? Because they're always, their question is why?
Right.
And you have to be that element. So as a mayor, as a city council, as someone who's in a public office, you have to entertain these guys and provide them those resources. There are so many resources that city like Missouri City, other cities nearby that have.
Right.
But, and we can say that if you reach out,
Yes.
it's there. But
Yes.
what are we doing to reach out to them?
Right, and then for them to know what it is. As we close, Mayor, so the whole mission of Success in Business is to educate, equip, and empower the small minority, women, and disadvantaged business owner. And so I have to say, everything you said is nice, but what do you think culturally is some of the barriers that business owners have to overcome compared to, majority business owners?
I think we talked about confidence. We talked about, different things. But I think, to be able to be, in a city where such as diversity as we are, where we take pride of that diversity, and you got to be able to come into these things and ask those questions. And I would always say the first impact starts with them. They have to be able to reach out. And my job is, as they're reaching out, connect them with the right dots, right, if you will. Allowing those people to provide the resources, because we have the resources. Every city has resources. But are we looking to allocate those resources and to make that work for them? Is it, myself being a minority, I'm sure, I know the fact that when I first became the mayor, my parents were shocked because it is, they weren't shocked because I couldn't do it.
Right.
But the opportunity for them to even think that someone like myself to even, to be the mayor.
That's amazing.
But so when I look at all segments of people, it doesn't matter where you're from, opportunities are there for you, but you have to take that first initial step.
Right.
And don't be afraid of failure. It's okay to fail, but then you keep working on it. It's a skills set that you have to continue to work on. Just because you're a mayor doesn't mean that, all right, you're at the final steps. There are things that I learned from staff.
Right.
There are things that I learned from my colleagues. There are conversations that takes place. And I said, well, okay, I didn't know that. I would welcome those conversations to learn from others. So you never can say that you understand it all.
Right.
You never understand it all. You have to look at different business perspectives and different people, and you're constantly learning. Just because you become a mayor or you become a council member, or you become an elected official somewhere else, doesn't mean that that's you have it all. You don't. You'll find, if you're willing to listen, you'll find there are several things that you can learn. Same thing goes for if you're an elected official, you're willing to listen to your public, your youngsters, your entrepreneurs, or wannabe entrepreneurs.
Right.
If it's one idea that they're saying, and if there's someone that will listen to them and tell them, like, go ahead and do it, and give them that positive reinforcement, you never know what that could end up with.
Oh, man.
It could be an amazing thing, or it could be when they fail. But if they fail, then you got to be also right there to say, I see why you failed, and let's make it right. Right. So it's really not. It's when I think of business, man, I think of you have to. Everybody can't be business. Everybody's not into business.
Right.
But if that's what you do, there are so many people. You only hear the success stories.
Right.
You don't hear the other side of the stories.
Yes.
For me, I enjoy listening to the other side of the stories too, because that's what makes it a stronger for someone. So I think if what the programs that you're doing, if the elected officials and if the people that have access to information, if they're being willingness to share that, I think we would have the best America, the best city possible. That's what I believe.
Family, you heard it. Words of wisdom. Thank you so much, Mayor Elackatt. It has been just a blessing to not only have you take the time to talk with family, but also to share your words of wisdom about business and about being the leader you are. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Well, there you go, family. Thank you for being here. And there goes this another episode of Success in Business Podcast. Make sure you click in subscribe. Make sure you hit us on info@successinbusiness.org, or definitely go to any of our Twitter, YouTube at Success in Business channel, Success in Business, there you can find us. Thank you so much. And as always, I wish you success in business.